imagine getting back together with your ex-boyfriend from high school, your first kiss, your first boyfriend ever. Yeah, so I did that. Let me tell you the story time. So I was 15 and he was 17, so I was a sophomore and he was a senior. At that time, yes, I know, it seems like the biggest gap ever. It's insane. It's like, it feels like 20 years difference. We're adults now, so it's really only 2, and it really was ever 2. But in high school, it feels like a big deal. And so he never even asked me to be his girlfriend. We just agreed that, oh yeah, like, we like this, I guess. So I went to his prom, and, we dated. He was my first kiss. And I never thought it was that serious because I never met his family. Like, he never really, like, brought me around like that. So I was like, okay, like, I was also 15, so I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, this is my best friend boy. It wasn't like, oh, this is my boyfriend. Like, it was, but it just never was that serious to me. And so he graduated. He went off to college, and then I was still in high school. That was when I was like, this is doing a little too much because I never saw him and communication was hard. And so I was like, hey, we should talk. He was like, okay, let's talk. So it was over the phone. Mind you, it was over the phone. And I was like, I think we should break up. And he was like, I think so too. But I think I broke up with him because, get this, he blocks me on everything for the next 4 years. And so he says it was a mutual breakup. He says he did it, but I was like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up because why are you blocking me if you're the one that broke up with me, And so apparently he was really in love with me, but I just didn't think it was that serious. And I was low-key just like an asshole, I feel like, because afterwards, like a few months later, I just like jumped to somebody else and I was dating somebody else. Mind you, at this time I was probably like 16. Anyways, so I graduated from high school. I went off to college. It's been like 4 years since we dated, and it's my freshman year of college. I'm talking to people, I'm going on dates, whatever. And for some reason, I have this weird feeling, and I'm just like, he was a really good guy, and I feel like I was an asshole, so I'm just gonna reach out. And I gave no shits about anything. I was just doing whatever I felt like doing, like impulsively. So I messaged him, and I was like, hey. He was like, hi. I think at that time it was like, I don't know, maybe his phone number or like a Snapchat thing. He like re-added me. And so we talked about it because I said, I'm really sorry. I feel like I was an asshole in this situation. And he was like, oh, like, we're cool. It's good. So he like unblocks me. And now we're acquaintances. So like, that was it. So that was the first time we talked in 4 years. And I went on, I did other people in college. He got into like other serious relationships, and so did I. And then we like never talked though. Like, we just had each other on social media, like kept up with each other, acquaintances. And now like 3 years has passed, so it's 2024, and I broke up with my ex-boyfriend in college, my college boyfriend. And I was like, I'm never dating anybody again, and it's like I'm done until college is over. But then my current boyfriend now, let's call him One. His name is One. So One messaged me out of the blue after 7 years since we dated. So 7 years since we dated, and 3 years since when we first reconnected. And so he's like, hey. And I was like, hello? Out the blue. Maybe some like Instagram slide ups and like random hearts on my dog, type of thing. And so I was like, maybe he's interested, but like, it's like not like that for real. And I'm like, hi. So he's like, do you want to go grab food sometime and catch up? And I was like, this is so random. But I was like, you know what? In my era of saying yes and just living life anyways, saying yes to the experience, I was like, for sure. He still lived in my hometown, mind you. So like 40 minutes away from the actual city that I was living in now. But I was like, I'll be home during this weekend if you want to catch up. So he was like, okay, I'll come pick you up. And it was so weird because back then in high school, I couldn't drive. I was 15. So he was driving everywhere. And so now at this point, I'm like 22. And he comes to my mom's house and picks me up just like we were in high school in the same car. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm in my hometown getting picked up on my first boyfriend ever, my first boyfriend, my first kiss, my ex-boyfriend from high school. So he takes me to this restaurant. We got drinks. I get a cute little cocktail. I think I got like a margarita. It was like a nice steak Mexican restaurant. And he gets, I don't know, a mule probably. But we're sipping and we're laughing. Like, it's so fun. It's so nice, like, not have to explain something to somebody because they already know. And, like, we are talking about people that we knew in the past, and he was checking up on my family. And I was like, I'm enjoying myself. So he drops me off at my house. The date is over. And he was like, I'll text you. And I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was like, I got shit to do. And I remember I had my rule of like, I ain't not dating nobody until college is over. And I still had a year and a half left. And so I go back up to the city. I'm going to school, whatever. And he's like, texts me probably like the night after or a few days after. He's like, hey, do you want to hang out again? And I was like, what does this man want with me? And so I'm like, I have school and I have like work and projects, but I'm free like this day. So we go on another day. We go out to dinner and it's good. It's cool. We just like keep hanging out a little bit more and more. He's like, oh, I'm moving up to Seattle. I'm moving up to the city. And I was like, oh, for sure. Like, if you ever need anything, like, let me know. Like, I live in the city. And beknownst to me, he moves like 5 minutes away from me. And I'm like, it takes me 12 minutes to run to his house. Did I track it? Yes. Did I do it on purpose? Yes. He doesn't need to know that. Anyways, so at that time, we were living 5 minutes apart from each other, and we were trying to go on dates. We agreed that, like, okay, we're dating, but this isn't me, my boyfriend and girlfriend, but we're dating. And so we tried that. We literally go on dates, and it's super fun, but mind you, we never kiss. It had been, like, 3 months at this point of just dating, and we never kissed. We, like, barely touched each other. And so one day we were just like, I think we're better off as friends. And it wasn't even like I didn't want to touch him or that I didn't enjoy his time and company, but I was, like, scared. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I couldn't do it. And so we were like, okay, like, let's just be friends. Because he was feeling the same way. We were both like, we talked about it. We were like, why can't we touch each other? And we're like, I don't know. Maybe this isn't for us. And so moved on from that. Then I was just like, okay, cool. Focused on school. Went on, like, random dates here and there. And so did he. Like, we maybe got, like, food caught up, like, once a month. Just friends, you know? Because, again, I was the only person who really knew in the city. So, for sure, I was like, we can hang out. But then my lease at my current place in college was ending and my roommates graduated. So we were like, we're going to move somewhere else. I was the only one left in school. And so we needed help moving. As girls living in the city and we didn't know no boys to help us move, I was like, hey, one, can you come and help us like move, please? And the amazing person that he is, he's like, yeah, for sure. So, you know, big, strong man, one, he picks up all my boxes, moves it to my house for me, my new place. And then he was building my bed frame. And this was the moment, ladies. I was watching him build my bed frame and just like picking up all these heavy wooden pieces. And I'm like, this man is always here for me. He is building my bed frame right now. And in that moment, I was like, I think I kind of like him. And mind you, we'd been friends this entire time. He's just been spending a little bit more time with me, helping me move. And so I didn't say nothing, but he kept coming around because the house needed help and whatever, yeah. And so he, like, throughout that, he's like, we should grab dinner or whatever. And I started noticing, like, oh, these are a little bit more, like, date-ish type of things. One day, he's like, do you want to go to a jazz show? And I was like, sure, I've never been to one. He's like, okay, for sure, let's go then. And do you want to get dinner before? And I was like, yeah. And I'm on this, and I'm like, is this a date? He was like, doesn't really respond to me, kind of. He's like, yes, maybe. Then he goes, I love you. And I was like, he's like, I love you as a human being. And I was like, and I think I just said thank you. A few weeks later, that was when I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's try this, let's do this.
All right, hi, my name is Brittany. I was born a female, but at 23, I transitioned to male, and I have lived my life as a man for 8 years. God has put it on my heart 3 times to detransition, but I haven't been able to. I think I was just so caught up in it. You know, I was so caught up in this idea that there are 2 sexes and that gender identity is something that you can choose. And now I no longer believe that. I believe that God created me as a female and that I'm supposed to live as a female. Now, some of you have seen the pictures that I shared earlier, and I would say that, you know, I was pretty as a female. I didn't always dress like that. I've always been more masculine, but you know, I'm feeling really insecure now because my voice is deeper, because of the testosterone. I lost my hair, as you can see. So I am in the process of getting a wig and, trying to be... Sorry, I moved outside because I was in the garage and it just didn't look good. So anyway, I've been reading my Bible and I've been praying a lot, and it was put on my heart again to detransition. And I really think that's important because, my mind and my body and my soul are not aligned. Transitioning didn't fix anything for me. Really. I mean, yeah, you feel trans joy, like you feel euphoria, and you feel excited about all the changes you're making, and you feel great about what you're doing. But in reality, you're destroying your body. And, you don't feel, because it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter that I had a beard. It doesn't matter that I had a deeper voice. I can never be a man. And I'm someone who has mental health issues. And gender dysphoria, I think it's a real thing. Like, gender dysphoria is a real thing. But I don't think that transitioning helped me with that. I think that the true mark of self-love would have been if I accepted myself for who I was. Now, I may get a lot of hate on this video. I know that a lot of people think that self-love is just, like, oh, accept yourself for who you are, and now you're going to transition to the opposite gender. I've got a long way to go with detransitioning. My name is not legally changed back to Brittany. My driver's license, in fact, says male. And, I have a long way to go with it. But, and I also, I feel very insecure because I don't, the pictures that you saw that I posted, I think I looked okay. But now I'm afraid that people are going to think that I'm a male transitioning to female, or that people are going to, and it doesn't matter what people think. I know who I am and I know what I am. And, I don't know. So this is my first video. I'm not very good at this whole thing. I've never really made a lot of Tik Toks. I don't stay on topic very well, and I just need some practice, I guess. But let me know what questions you have, and let me know what things I can answer. I will tell my whole story. I just wanted to see if anyone was actually interested in me, as far as, learning about what my story is and how I got here. So if you watched till now, thank you for watching, and just let me know what you'd like to know.
Get rid of me while I talk about how I got caught sneaking out with my talking stage at the time. So at the time, I was in 8th grade and I was staying at my grandma's house for the night, just sleeping over there. And mind you, I was not allowed to hang out with boys. I've never ever hung out with a boy my whole life. Also, my sister lived with my grandma, so I was hanging out with her mainly. So I was texting the guy, and I was doing middle school flirting, and I was oh, I wish I could see you, all this stuff. And there is a park 5 minutes away from my grandma's, and I had this brilliant idea. I was why don't we just meet at the park? And he was I'm so down, I'm so excited. And I was so I'm so excited too. And I let my sister know, and I was can you take me to the park? And she was yeah, but we can't let your parents know. And I was obviously I would get killed if they knew about it, all this stuff. And so I'm yeah, let's meet at the park. And I start getting ready, but I looked so ugly. I used my sister's concealer and blush, and then I wore leggings and this cute top at the time that I thought was cute. So she drops me off and she's like, just make sure, like, don't contact mom and dad. Like, I'm gonna pick you up in 2 hours. They shouldn't really text you. Mind you, this boy I was talking to, we already said I love you to each other, like, super, like, early, and like he knows how strict my parents are, and he was like, I'm so worried because like what if they like find out and we'll never be able to see each other again. So we're there for like a good hour and we're just hanging out, like we're sitting on the swings, really like middle school stuff. And then my mom calls, and of course I don't answer because I'm like scared to death. And then my dad calls, and I totally forgot that they had my freaking location. So obviously I'm stressing out so much, and I call my sister. And while I'm on the phone, we hear my parents calling my grandma. And they're asking my grandma, like, where's Grace? Like, is she there? And they're like, and she's like, yeah. She's like, and then my parents are like, can we talk to her? And my grandma walks in the room where my sister is, where I'm also supposed to be on the phone with my parents. And she's like, where's Grace? So my sister obviously doesn't know what to say, and she's like frozen for a second, and they're like, hello, why does it say her location's at a park? And she's like, I took her there. And obviously they're like, what? Why is your sister at the park? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, she's meeting her friend. She says she told you. So I got thrown under the bus by my sister as well. And they don't know I'm on the phone with her right now. So I'm hearing all this, like, stressing the freak out. So then my sister was like, it's okay, I'll just go pick her up right now. I'll pick her up right now. And they're like, no, we're gonna go pick her up. And they live like 30 minutes away from my grandma's. And my mom was like halfway back from work. So she turns around and starts driving towards me. So my grandma walks away and I'm on the phone like, Kayla, what the fuck? Like, what do I do? What the freak do I do? My mom is literally like 10-15 minutes away from picking me up, and if they see the boy, also my sister was supposed to take the boy home after. So my sister's like, I'm just gonna come pick you up. Like, I'm just gonna come pick you up and we're gonna take him home, and then we're gonna come back here and you and mom can talk. So she picks me and the boy up, and we stop at my grandma's, and I just throw my phone in the bush, hoping to be back in time before my mom gets there. And we start driving, which is like far, like he's far from where we are, but like she still has to take him home. And my mom calls again because she goes to the park. She's like, where are you guys? So then my sister calls my mom back, and she's like, my mom's like, where are you? And my sister's like, I'm in this like place that's like really random, like no one lives there that we know, like it's like 30 minutes away, so strange. And she's like, why are you there? She's like, I'm taking Grace's friend home. And they're like, let me talk to her. And I was like, Mom, I can hear you. And she's like, what is going on? So my sister's like, we're just gonna talk to you when we get there. We're just gonna talk. She's like, no, I'm waiting at my grandma's house. I'm waiting for you. And you're not here, and you're somewhere random. What is going on? And my sister hangs up on her. So my mom's spam calling us, and I drop the boy off, and then we're coming home, and I have my best friend at the time text me and be like, it was so much fun. I'm sorry you got in trouble. And I made up this whole story. So we agree on like the same story. I get back, and my mom's screaming, like my dad's on the phone. And the worst part about it all is my mom's like starts going through my stuff. I don't really know why, but she starts going through it. And originally me and my sister switched purses because I liked her purse and I was like wanted to look all cute. And so I was grabbing my purse and she was going through my purse, but all of her stuff was in my purse and all of my stuff was in her purse. And she found a freaking pregnancy test. And my sister didn't want anyone to know that she was pregnant. And no one knew at the time other than me. So that was how everyone found out. So yeah, like my parents were like, what is this? Like they find the pregnancy test and they're like yelling. They're like, what is this? Like, are you pregnant? Like, what happened? Anyway, my sister's like, I'm pregnant. Okay, like that's what happened, which obviously like they did not care about at the time. So my mom like brings me home from the sleepover and like I'm getting yelled at, like screamed at, like, but I'm keeping my story that I said that I was with my friend and we were just taking photos of each other and like we were just having a fun time. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I just thought you would say no. Like that's what I kept my story on, and till this day they still believe that. But I still got in major trouble. Anyways, this is a finished makeup look. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please follow me. Story time of how I got let go from my job of almost 2 years for speaking up against my manager's inappropriate behavior. Disclaimer, they did not state it's because of that, but they didn't give me any other reason. And throughout this story, I'm sure you will be able to determine that it was also because of that. So I started working at this job almost 2 years ago. I was bartending and serving, and then in the summer I would go and bev cart because it's a country club. And over the course of the time that I worked there, I gained really strong connections with the members, my fellow employees, just really anyone that I came across. Because I like to talk. I talk a lot, and so I just get to know people. My previous manager put in her notice this past April, and in that time we were looking for a new manager. They ended up hiring a 21-year-old boy with no managerial experience whatsoever. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because, he's young, he's trainable. Hopefully if we tell him everything that's been going on, he can come in and fix it, I lost faith after about a week. It started off with really small things, I'd be organizing our storage closet and he would make little comments to me. I just got done cleaning this closet and he comes and throws some of our uniforms just on the shelf back there after I cleaned everything. So instead of saying anything, I just start folding them and putting them away, and he walks back and looks at me and is like, "What, do you work at fucking Kohl's or something? Why are you folding those?" Over time, we noticed that he was picking favorites. My hours were cut significantly, and he was giving hours to the newer employees, more hours than the senior employees were receiving. Wednesday night was men's league, and I got taken off of that, even though I was the requested bartender by many of the members. It wasn't until about 2 months after he started that things got bad. When we would work on the golf course, we were allowed to wear golf skirts. And these skirts had shorts underneath them. They were athletic skirts, right? One day, my coworker and I went to talk to him about some problems we were having, about him cutting our hours and not letting us stay late to complete our work. And out of nowhere, he brought up our uniforms, mind you, which had been approved by the general manager of the country club. And he said, "When you bend over, your butt cheeks are showing. Everyone can see it. It's obvious." How can you see them when our shorts go down to almost the middle of our thighs and these skirts are not short skirts? We also had fellow employees come up to us and tell us that he was talking about our bodies. I heard him make a comment about one of my coworkers' pants being too tight because with her Mexican butt, it just doesn't work. We had a 30-year-old bartender that would work every so often, and my coworker had told our manager that he reminds her of her dad because he's just so sweet and stuff. He's just a good guy, and they're both Hispanic. So my manager turns to her and says, "Why? Is it because of the skin color? Is it because he looks like your dad?" Fast forward, a bunch of us are starting to get fed up with his behavior, and we all kind of sit down and talk about things that have happened. One of my other coworkers said that she had a small bruise on her wrist, and he pointed it out and asked if her boyfriend, maybe got a little too kinky, pinning her down. And then he said that he needed to be more careful because his girlfriend really bruises easily and her mom doesn't like the bruises on her neck. He said that to his employee at work, talking about their personal lives. Finally, our last straw was one tournament we were working. It was me and my coworker bartending, and then at 3 o'clock, 2 more of our coworkers came in because that was the social hour after the tournament, so there was supposed to be 4 of us on. My manager comes up behind the bar and tells me and my coworker that I've been there all day to clock out and leave. This was about 3:15, and we were scheduled until 4 o'clock. So we told him, no, we need to close out the tabs that we have open. We need to go through and ring everything in, adjust our tips, yada yada. We probably had, between the two of us, an hour's worth of work before we could leave. And he said, "No, I'll do all of it. You guys leave." And we didn't trust him because of everything that had happened over the course of the summer. We're "No, we're staying. All of this money is our responsibility. We have over $3,000 worth of sales. And if anything goes wrong, it falls back on us. So we're going to stay and do this." We were out of the way. We were at a terminal that wasn't in the bar, so we weren't in anyone's way. We were just sitting in the back doing our stuff, right? Literally every 5 minutes he would come back and, "Are you guys done? Are you done yet? Are you done? Just leave it. Just leave it. I'll do it." And we're what's the rush? Why do you care so much? We're not in anyone's way. We're still
in the time we're supposed to be scheduled. Neither of us are going to hit overtime this week. Like, what's the big deal? And we had done these things for the past year and a half at that point. Like, we knew what we were doing. This was our second summer working there. Like, we knew better than he did what was going on because he had no idea. Literally no idea. He was never there. We had enough at that point and decided that we needed to sit down and talk to the general manager. We waited almost 2 hours after our shift off the clock for him to come off the course after cleaning up after the tournament so we could talk to him. He came in and told us, like, he agrees with us and he wants us to speak to HR and he will set up the meetings and everything for it. So I go through and write like a 3-4 page letter of grievance. I reference the employee handbook. I have specific dates, times, examples of his completely inappropriate behavior. Like, we have examples and proof of him being racist, sexist, like making comments on our bodies, which is like sexual harassment. We don't want to push it that far, but like that's what it is. And then finally, like, I get to the meeting with HR and we discuss it all. Now, at this point, I didn't know I was moving to Florida yet. So I went through this whole thing where I was going through and setting up these meetings and getting in contact with HR so we can settle this. And then kind of out of the blue, like, my boyfriend and I found a place for us both and I was leaving in 2 weeks. I talked to the general manager when I was leaving and told him I was only going to be gone for a few months, that I would be back in December or January. And he said that, yep, like, we'll have space for you. You're always welcome back. I also talked to my bar manager and told him I'll be back. Like, I'm not expecting full time like I had, but, you know, I'd love to come back, especially since I have such strong relationships with the members and I know everything that's going on around here. They both said, perfect, we'll see you then. Now, I texted them about 2 weeks ago saying I would be back in Minnesota for Thanksgiving and I'd love to pick up a couple shifts if they're available. My bar manager responded and said he'll let me know if there's anything available, like, look forward to seeing you. And I go and check yesterday to see if the schedule had been posted, and I had been completely removed from the app that does our scheduling. Text the bar manager, nothing. Text the general manager, and he just says, sorry, we hired too many people, don't have room for you. So I checked back with all the other employees that had, like, left for the summer for college. None of them were gone. Because they keep people on staff to pick up shifts or work throughout the summer. Like, I wasn't expecting to be put on the schedule, but, like, I'd love to be around to pick up shifts here and there and, like, see the members again. I was the only one that was completely removed. Besides one of the employees, I have the most seniority out of everybody there. I had put in 50, 60-hour weeks my first summer there. Like, I worked hard. I did my job well, and I was liked by the members. And it, like, broke my heart to see that I wasn't, like, I can't go back. And I seriously can't see any other reason other than I was the one that stood up and spoke up about my manager's completely inappropriate behavior. So if anyone has any advice, let me know, because I'm truthfully heartbroken. I'm going to miss all of my coworkers, all of the members, like, and I don't get to say goodbye to them. Like, I never got to tell them, like, how much I love them all so much. And, like, they really became my family over the time I worked there. I saw most of them more than I saw my own family, and, like, I loved it so much. And it just sucks to know that this is all because of one stupid, dumb boy. Like, because that's all he is a stupid, dumb boy. So I guess it's not a Karen story, but thanks for listening, because when I go home now, I kind of have nothing.
Wait, guys, I have to do a little rant, so please listen. I need a girl's opinion. Okay. So, me and my boyfriend have been together for exactly a year and 1 day today. So yesterday we had our 1 year, and we went to a wedding. We went to only the first part of the church, and then we didn't go to the reception because, like, it was our day 2, you know, we had to celebrate, and we were just tired. I didn't have to go, like, we supported already. And while we were there, one of my old friends was there also, and so she saw me. She came to sit with me. And so it was me, my boyfriend, and then she came through this side, right? So she came, and then like, I talked to her. I was like, oh my gosh, hi, blah, blah, blah. And we talked for, like, less than a minute, right? And then I'm like, oh, well, let me introduce them. So I was like, oh, by the way, this is my boyfriend, blah, 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 and blah, 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 this is my friend, blah, blah, blah. And tell me why she decided to be like, oh, trust me, we've met. Exactly like that. She said it exactly like that. And I was like, oh, get out of my face! Get out of my face! Like, what the heck? Bro, so yeah, she said that. I let go of it because we're at a wedding. Like, I'm not trying to... I didn't think anything, right? Like, that's weird. I'll ask him about it later. But you, as my friend, why are you doing that? Like, what the heck is wrong with you? What the heck is wrong with you? And so, yeah, that was yesterday. I didn't think about it for the whole rest of the day because, girl, I can hold things all day and think about it all day and be mad at you all day. Or I can just let it go and not think about it because, I don't know. It was weird, but it didn't really bother me that much. But today I was thinking about it. Actually, that was yesterday. Today I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? That was like really weird and I don't really like that and I want to know because sidebar, I feel like my boyfriend, he won't tell me things and I have to ask. And I hate that because I feel like I love talking and I'll tell him everything I tell him. I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to communicate. He'll be like, what's wrong? Like, tell me what's wrong. But besides that, I mean, yeah, I'll end up telling him. But besides that, I'll tell him, like, what's going on, like, what I'm feeling, what's happening in my life. And he doesn't really do that. I feel like I always have to ask him. And I've talked to him about that so many times. Like, I want you to tell me things. Like, I want to feel included, feel involved in your life. Because I have to ask. And I don't like that. And so, yeah. So, today, I called him. Well, he's busy doing something right now. But not, like, something super important. So, I was like, hey, I'm going to call you right now. Because I want to ask you about something, if that's okay. He was like, yes. So, he called me. And then I was like, hey, so I'm just thinking, and I know it's probably not like a big thing. I don't think it is, but I want to ask just because, like, no matter what the context is, if it were me, you would want to know too. So I explained that because it's true. Like, that's true. Like, if that happened, if he introduced me to one of his friends, I was like, oh yeah, we've met, or he said that, or something like that. Exactly. Exactly. You see that? Yeah. And I asked him, and I was like, oh, like, when I introduced, and she was like, oh yeah, we've met, exactly like that. It was like, oh yeah, because like she tried to talk to me like once and I didn't like that. That's what he told me. And I'm like, okay. And I feel like he's not trying to tell me much. But then I was thinking, I'm like, you wouldn't have told me this if I hadn't asked. I feel like that's something that you should have known that I would have wanted to know because that was really weird. And he would have never brought it up. And I feel like, I don't know. Hold on. What do you guys think about this? Because maybe nothing happened. Maybe they talked for a bit. Maybe he was trying to downplay it, whatever. But she was trying to be with us like the whole time there. And he didn't say anything. He wasn't really trying to like, for real, step away. Like, he was just there. He wasn't trying to talk to her. But still. Like, that's something you tell me because obviously her trying to be with us is, like, weird. But I didn't see it like that because you didn't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? So now, like, what do I do? Like, we literally just made a year. I really tried to not be like, oh, yeah, like, I'm gonna break up with him for this because I don't know. But I have asked him, like, a lot to just tell me things. And right now when I told him that, because he told me and I was like, okay. And then I was just like thinking again and I was like, well, I'm just kind of upset because I feel like I have to ask you things for me to find out. Like, you can never just tell me something. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, that's all you can give me? I don't know, guys. So I just want to know opinions. I won't let this dictate my decision on whatever I think or do, but I just want to know what other people think. Okay? So, yeah.
Story time about how one of my first ever high school parties got shut up. And unfortunately, this was this past Halloween weekend. It wasn't on the night of Halloween on Friday. That was actually my first party ever, but it was the night after, that Saturday night. And I would not be talking about this if there were any fatal injuries, but from what I've heard, the two people who unfortunately got shot are in the hospital on the way to speedy recovery. So I really I'm praying for them, and I really hope that they get better, because this was probably one of like my scariest experiences, and I'm sure it was theirs as well. So I was hanging out with a few of my friends. I got there maybe 2 hours before anything happened. So I got there around maybe like 9:30. This isn't my normal environment. Like I said, I don't party, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I was with one of my friends, and one of my guy friends calls me, and he's like, hey, like, I'm finally here. Me and my friends are in the garage. I'm like, okay, we'll meet in the garage. Now, the garage is separate from the house, but where everyone's getting let in was through, like, these gates on the side of the house. So the gates on the side of the house come open, and then you can, like, go and, like, pull into the garage, like, if you were driving. But then the house is, like, garage, house. So he's like, we're in the garage. But, like, people were in the garage, like, partying, but no one was in the house. So I go into the garage, and I'm having one conversation with him, whatever, with my friend, and there were so many people at this party. It's in someone's backyard and garage, by the way. So, but like the police reported like 400 plus people. Like you could not move. You could not move. It was like walking like with walls all around you. It was insane. So if you wanted to like walk anywhere with anyone, like you'd have to be like holding on to them. Otherwise, you'd lose them immediately. So I'm, like, holding her hand as we decide to walk out of the garage. We're walking out of the garage, and I just feel a mass force that I have never felt in my entire life before. Never. And it's everyone pushing me. I had no control over my body. I immediately lose sight of everyone I know. All of my guy friends that were there, that had just shown up, immediately gone. I could not find any of them. I did have my friend... who I was with at the time, because I was holding on to her still. So thank goodness I was with her. But we get pushed all the way to the back of the backyard. And then, because there's so many people trying to go to the back, because I'm assuming that's when they heard the first gunshot. I didn't hear the first one, but I heard ones that followed. That's when I started freaking out, obviously, because, like, as one does when they hear gunshots. And everyone starts pushing people to the front. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I got... Somehow, I ended up in between the garage and this fence, which is... It was really, really close to the entry gate. Like, I could actually see the entry gate from where I was standing. And, it was closed at this time. I don't know what happened, actually, at all. I'm just telling you what happened with me, even though nothing happened. Honestly, I'm making this whole story about myself. It really has nothing to do with me, if I'm being honest. But, like... It was just a scary experience, and I would never like to live it again. We see the gate, and then that's when I hear more gunshots. I grab my friend, and I'm like, we're getting out of here. So we run to the back, and we see, like, this hole, and, because at this point, everyone's freaking out, hopping fences. Well, also, everyone's freaking out because, like, police are gonna come, like, we're underage drinking, and underage everything else. So everyone's jumping fences. The people who couldn't jump that were kicking it down. Like, literally, like, the strength that came from that adrenaline was insane. Every single fence on every single line after that was, like, messed up in some way, shape, or form. So, but the back one especially, like, there was a huge hole. And me and my friend run past it, but there were too many people leaving that gate, or, like, not that gate, that hole. Literally the hole in the gate, that we decided we're gonna go hop the gate on the other side. I'm watching my friend hop the gate on the other side. She's climbing up, and she, like, hops over, and she, like, falls. It's so bad. She falls. And mind you, this entire experience, I'm getting calls from everybody and their mom, because, like, they're hoping that... We're all hoping that it was nobody that we knew that got hit, if I'm being honest. So not only am I overstimulated by being, like, pushed around by everybody, but I'm also getting calls from, like, everybody that I know. So then we jump over the fence, and we're in, like, one of our friends' backyard. Like, luckily we knew who lived next to the person throwing the party, because then their parents were out there, and they're, like, watching everything happen, and they're obviously not mad because they wanted us to be safe. So now, at this point, they're telling us to go hide in their shed. So we go and we hide in their shed. It felt like 20 minutes long, and I'm pretty sure it was, like, 2. I'm not even joking. I'm, like, asking around, like, who needs a ride, like, who needs a DD, because there weren't very many DDs there. I ended up taking a different guy friend and one of my other friends that I drove there originally to my best friend's house, who also lived in that same neighborhood. But the girl that I was driving,
she had called me at one point and asked me how, like, if I was okay, and I told her, yeah, like, I'm okay. And she proceeds to tell me that she got a fence kicked on her head. Like, I was like, how does it even happen? She's like, well, I was standing on one side of the fence, someone was standing on the other side of the fence, they kicked it down, bam. But, like, when I'm so sorry, I saw her head, it was, like, comical. Like, it was actually comical. It was, like, a goose egg the size of, like, a baseball coming out of her head from our cartoon. It was so big. Anyway, so now, at this point, we're in the shed, and the parents come in, and they're like, if you want to leave, you can leave now, because the police are giving you guys this amount of time to dip without being questioned, essentially. So I'm like, bet, I'm leaving. Like, I'm out of here. I'm taking my two friends with me. We get to my friend's house, and I was very, like, held together this entire time until I get to my friend's house, and then my mom calls me, because she's tracking me, because she was nervous for me, and my mom calls me, and she's like, hey, why are you at so-and-so's house? And I immediately broke into tears. I can't tell if I'm being overdramatic or if I've genuinely was, like, traumatized from that, but moral of the story is that I decided partying is not my environment, and I have never been more grateful in my entire life that I was sober.
Get ready with me to take my mom to court for emergency guardianship over my sister. Now, the reason that we're going is because my mom is an alcoholic. She has been for as long as I can remember. And my sister on December 3rd called me and said that I needed to come get her, that my mom hit her. She punched her in the face, grabbed her by the hair and neck, and it was all because my mom thought that my sister was drunk. Reminder, my sister's 17. She was not drunk. So I told her to pack a bag. I told her to get her shoes on and wait in her room until I got there. I was driving. I was 5 minutes away. And my mom went into her room and started arguing with her, calling her a junkie, an addict, good for nothing, high school dropout, which she's graduating early, mind you. Just all the things you can imagine. And I guess she was recording the whole thing, the whole argument, at least. Then, when I showed up, I texted Jordan, my sister, and I said, hey, I'm outside. You need to come out. I don't care what she does. Just get out the door. I'll be waiting. So I barely pull up and park and get my seatbelt off. And we're on FaceTime. And the, you know how it goes blank when somebody, like, logs out of or just swipes off of FaceTime. Jordan got up and that went blank, and then all I heard was, get off of me, don't hit me, sissy, help. So I'm running to the door. Takes me not even 2-3 seconds to get there, and I see my mom tackle my sister to the ground, hit her, and try to pin her down to the ground for leaving with me. And her friend was also on top of her. My mom's friend was also on top of my sister. Yeah, and I knocked on the door. It's a glass door, so she saw me, and I saw what happened. I knocked on the door, and because I tried to open it first, it was locked, and banged on the door, and my mom saw me while she was on top of my sister, and she got up, and she tried to blame it all on my sister. She opened the door, and all I could smell was alcohol. And she just kept telling me I have it all in recording, and I was like, I don't care. I'm getting my sister out of here. There was no need for that. I don't care. what happened prior. I don't care what she did. You don't do that. And so we were walking towards the car. She grabbed some of her stuff, and all I hear my mom say is, "You guys are so fucked." And I was like, okay. And I called the cops. I was on the phone with the cops already as I walked up to the door. I should have said that, but she lives next to the police station. And the cops get there not even 2 seconds after I call. And they talked to us. My sister was in my car having a panic attack. Couldn't breathe. She was freaking out. All this stuff. I was trying to calm her down, but then I had to talk to the police. And I told him, like, she's having a panic attack. And he was like, does she need rescue? And I said, no. She just needs to fix her breathing. That's all. So they talked to us. They asked us the story. The same story I just gave you. And then that lasted maybe a half hour. Mind you, I live in Maine. It's freezing outside. This was at 11:30 at night. It's freezing out. So we're standing out there for a half hour talking to the cops. And then they go and talk to my mom. I told them before they left, do not let our mother lie to you. She will, and she's good at it. She'll make you believe her. And what did they do? They believed her. I got the police report back, and they said they don't think my mom was impaired. But then my mom made them take pictures of her marks that my sister supposedly left her from defending herself. She had a scrape on the knee from tackling my sister to the ground. My mom is also pre-diabetic and an alcoholic, so she bruises easily. And there's like a grab mark on my mom's arm and just a scratch or so from my sister defending herself. In the back of that picture, you can see the alcohol. You can see the cup of alcohol and the bottle right behind her. In the picture that the cops took, mind you. So we went to the courthouse the next day. I applied for a guardianship. My sister agreed, and she also wrote a statement. And today is the day. Mind you, my mom has been this way forever. I don't have contact with her. Only contact I've ever had is when it comes to my sister, and that is about it. My mom used to abuse me when I was younger. She put me up a wall by my throat when I was, I think, 11. My sister was a baby, and she put me up a wall by my throat because I accidentally kicked the babysitter in the head, which it wasn't that hard. I was sitting with my feet crossed like this. She was at the end of the bed, and my foot was right by her head, and I accidentally kicked her for trying to get up off the bed. So the babysitter decided to try to choke me, and I told my mom, and my mom came downstairs and started yelling, do you want to see somebody get choked? Do you want to know what choking is? And of course I said no, but she did it anyway, and she put me up a wall by my throat. That's when I ended up going to live with my dad. My sister does not have a dad. So unfortunately I am her other parent, I guess. This has been a long time coming, as in her freshman year, the same thing happened. She ran away because my mom and her girlfriend at the time were beating each other in front of my sister. And they've done it before, but my sister hasn't seen it. Usually my sister's sleeping, and she does sleep through anything because of the life my mom lives. She's always partying. She's always either at home playing cards and drinking with her friends, or she's out at the bar or out of state partying. She will leave my sister home alone all weekend or at a friend's house all weekend. She does not buy groceries. Never. Because she doesn't eat, so why does my kid need to eat? Is what I'm thinking that her brain says, you know? But if you made it this far, thank you. Today is really hard for me. I didn't think I'd be taking my mom to court. and nobody wants to take their mom to court. I am running out of time, but I've never done one of these before. I'm just hoping to get, I don't know, I'm just hoping to get some support on this, I guess, as nobody seems to believe my sister and I on the abuse that we've endured throughout the years. I have not even touched half of it on here. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm thinking about making more parts after court, just explaining more, showing the proof, showing the statements, all of that. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will update you guys later.
Okay, so this is my third time trying to record this video because I keep getting off track and just like giving too many details, but something spooky happened to me and I think I survived, or I don't know what happened, but it was something that has kept me up all night for the past like several weeks already. Like, it keeps me up, and this is something that happened at the beginning of the year. So for a little bit of backstory, it was around January, February. It was a kind of coldish outside. So I opened up a food truck with my husband, right? And he would sometimes go the day shifts and I would stay the evening shifts. And we'd always stay up at around 9, maybe 10, you know? We were selling tacos and like Mexican food, fruits, and all this stuff. Okay, well, we decided that it would be maybe a good idea to stay a bit late because, you know, like, who doesn't want tacos at like midnight or something, right? Okay, well, this particular night, so for a bit of a detail, we were parked outside of a gas station. Like, that's where we were stationed at. There was another gas station across the street. There was one where we were at, and there was like, you know, maybe another one a little bit down the road. But like, this long stretch of road was like busy in the daytime. Like, it was high traffic during the daytime, but then we realized like during the night times it wasn't really that much. But we never know, like, there was a lot of houses around, so like maybe somebody would be like, you know, wanting a quick snack. So I'm sorry, I'm still like thinking so many details. I'm trying to like get it in the right order, but like, okay, so we decided to stay up until like midnight now, or like past 10, because that's when we usually stay up until open until. Okay, well, this night it was me by myself, and it was like already like 10:30ish. Like, the gas station had already closed because they closed at 10 during the weekdays, and this was like a Thursday or Thursday. They had already closed, and like I had seen them. They closed, they left, they waved by, they told me like, hey, are you closing up soon? And I let them know like, no, I'm gonna stay a bit later, you know, to see if we get any customers around. They waved, they left, everything was good. I was like on my phone just scrolling, you know, and then like my phone died. Right? My phone had died, and I was like looking for my charger. I'm looking around. I realized I only had the cable thing, but not like the actual head to like plug it into like an outlet. So I decided like, okay, well, I'm gonna charge my phone in the car, right? And then like I didn't want to like wait too long, because from 10 to like 10:30 almost, it was like 10:40ish almost. I hadn't gotten any more customers, so I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Maybe nobody else is gonna stop by. Like, there had been no cars passing by, like maybe one in the past, like that whole time. So then I decided to go turn the car on, leave my phone charging in the car, and I'm just gonna start setting up everything to like leave, right? So then what did I do? Okay, so then I start setting everything up, like, you know, in the car, whatever. I charge it, I leave the car on, and then I go back into the food truck to start cleaning up, putting all the stuff away, you know, like turning off all the stoves, like just basically putting everything away to like close up for the night, just leave, right? And I always leave the lights on, like we had like lights on outside, but I always leave those on till late, till like the last minute. Like, I always turn those off last, right? So then it's like 5 minutes and I'm like cleaning everything, like I'm putting everything away, I'm putting everything in the sink so I can wash them, right? And then I hear footsteps outside,
and I like peek my head out the door, like through the food truck door. I like peek my head out, and I see like there's a guy with like a backpack on. He's wearing all black, and he has a red backpack on, and he's like looking, sort of like walking really slowly by the car, and like looking inside the window to see if there's anybody in there, because it was on. And then like I guess he saw my head poke out the door from the food truck, and then we made eye contact for like a split second, and then I went back inside like, okay, like what did I just see? So when he came around, like he came to the door, and then he came and asked me, like he looked around and he goes, oh, are you guys open? And like the window was closed, everything. It was just like that back door open, because like that's where I was gonna like leave out of. It was the only door there. So then just apologized quickly. I'm like, no, I'm so sorry, we're just closing up, like I already turned everything off, like immediately apologizing, you know, like because maybe he wanted to buy something. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm telling him sorry. And then he goes, oh, okay. And then he looks around, and then he asks, are they open, like the gas station? And you could clearly see that the doors were like, you know how some gas stations have like a gated kind of like, after their door they put like a gate around kind of thing, so they won't, like, I don't know, for protection or something. So then I try to like play it off, like immediately I became like a professional actress and like trying to act like I was not alone. But like I told him, like, no, I think they're about to close. I just saw them like go around the corner to throw out the trash, so maybe if you still catch them, they'll still like open it up for you and like sell you something, or you know. So he goes, oh, okay, you know. So then I go back inside, and I'm like, just like I start overthinking so much. I just start thinking like, what is happening? Like, what am I doing? Oh my god. Like, I just start thinking like, my phone's not with me, the car's on, like what is going on? So then I go ahead and get a cup of fruit from the fridge, like whatever fridge is. I get a cup of watermelon, and like I go and like I go back outside, and I like see what he's doing kind of thing, and like offer him the cup of fruit. I'm like, hey, you know, I do have this, like this is like something that's ready if you wanted it, you know, kind of thing. And he looks at me like, okay, yeah, thanks, you know, like, and he takes it, and then like, but he had put his backpack down by that point. Like he put it down, and he set it down by the door. So then I give it to him, I go back inside, and then that's when I'm thinking like, okay, like why is he putting his backpack down? What is he doing? So then I start thinking like, okay, I need to get out of this food truck like ASAP. Like I need to find another way to, like another excuse for me to get out of here, and like maybe run to the truck. Even if I don't close up, clean anything, I don't care. I just need to get out of here. So then I get like some silverware, like some plastic silverware, and I like go back outside, and I'm telling him, oh, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Oh, look, I forgot to give you this. So then I give it to him. I'm just like overly nice, and I give it to him like, oh, hey, you know, like for the fruit. So I give it to him, and then I go back inside, and just like, okay, so like he grabbed it, he said thanks, okay. And then as soon as I'm gonna like go, I look behind me, and I see like lights, like cop car lights, and they approach him, and then like they're coming like to him, and they park right in front of him. And then I see another one pull up, and then another one, and like there was basically like 5 cop cars surrounding this guy. And then they immediately get out, get him. I don't even know if they were like talking to him or what, but they like immediately just like handcuff him, get his backpack, and just, you know, I was like in shock. I like froze for a second, and then went back inside the food truck and started putting everything away. Like I didn't even wash any dishes. I was just like, oh my god, I don't have time for questions. I don't care what the hell. Like I was just like, I don't know if it was like divine intervention, pure luck, or like an angel watching over me, but I was just like ready to leave. I didn't want to ask any questions. I didn't care who this guy was. I didn't care what like he was getting like taken for. I was just ready to go. And also like I didn't know if it was like some like why was there like 5 cop cars, you know, like surrounding him immediately? Like did he come from like another gas station up the road, like just like from doing stuff, and then like he came down here, and then, you know, planning to do stuff here too? Like it was just so crazy. And yeah, I think about it a lot. And then I keep wanting to go. Like we moved from that gas station. Like afterwards, I never went back to work overnights. Like past 10, I never did it again. And then like a few months afterwards, we moved out. Like we moved from that spot, so like we weren't there anymore. And then like I've been wanting to reach back out to the owner of the place to see if he has like some surveillance, some like ask him like, hey, did you call that night? Like, you know, like did you see what happened? Like is it on video? I'm pretty sure he has cameras around his, you know, the whole spot. Like what, like to help me out, not even help me out, to just like bring some clarity to this. Like, and I've been like on, you know, those Facebook pages or like where they like post mugshots of people that are like arrested for that day or for that whatever. I've been looking to see if I recognize the guy, and I don't see him anywhere. Like, I haven't seen them been posted, so I don't know if he really did get arrested, processed, and everything. But yeah, this is one like a scary situation that happened to me. I don't know if it's just me like overthinking or just like a regular guy, you know, just stopping by, wanting to actually buy something and me being close, or just me overthinking this whole situation. So yeah, what do you guys think happened? I don't know. You know, I don't know. I was scared.
Story time of when I accidentally drove onto a military base, got arrested trying to find a Starbucks. Let's go. So let me set the scenery, okay? It's 2019. I am freshly 19. I'm in Virginia spending the summer at my dad's. I was there for like 6 weeks, not the whole summer. Anyway, that day in the morning, I was having a sesh with my cousin. I'm down for a nap. I wake up. Oh, she's not here. She's at her boyfriend's house, no problem. I'm at my family's house, I'm cool. I get the urge, I'm like, wait, I'm itching for a pink drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like extra white. It was just, I don't know. It was that time. You know, I'm on Apple Maps because I'm not from there. So I'm like looking up, you know, the closest Starbucks. I get one. It pops up. It's like a mile something away. Period. I get my car. I get to driving. I was 19 years old. I wasn't like the most like, I was very oblivious, like, to say the least, okay? At this point, it was literally 5 hours after I had, you know, had the sesh, so I was not in any way, like, I was very much cool to drive. And so I'm driving, you know, I'm following my GPS. I'm like, damn, I gotta focus. Like, where the fuck am I at? Whatever. I am also, like, known for being directionally impaired, even, like, 10 minutes away from my house that I live at. So, like, I was very much, you know, locking in with the GPS. Like, clearly was not paying attention to signs, wasn't paying attention to really any of my surroundings, no problem. I was also very naive. Like, when I was driving into the gate, like, it's like a little roundy thing, and then like the actual gate where the military personnel should have been outside, which I'm a regular civilian, so I didn't know any better. Anyway, so I'm driving through this thing. I'm thinking to myself, damn, like, this is a nice ass gated community. They have their own Starbucks. Like, you got to get a little gate action. I'm like, this is fucking lit. I'm pulling up, you know, through the little thing. It's not very long. It's like maybe like it'll take you 3 seconds to go through. It's like 15, 25 mile per hour, whatever. I approached the gate. There's no one there. And I wasn't like, I didn't, you know, make a complete stop. I don't see anyone outside. And I'm just like, oh, okay, like, I'm just getting Starbucks. Didn't see anyone outside. There was no one outside once it was like a little building, like almost like a toll booth, if that makes any sense, but like larger, and like a little archway for people to enter in and then exit. So I drive right past. I don't see anyone outside. I drive right past, not knowing nothing, not knowing no better. And immediately after, there's like a little bridge and then a roundabout and then the actual, like, which now I know, a base. I know, a very dumb bitch of me. I understand. I get it now. Okay. I'm older now. So I'm on the bridge at this point. I'm just cruising. I'm like, this is a nice ass gated community. Like, so as I'm driving down the bridge, I look in my side mirror and I see someone back at the gate in uniform, and it looks like they're talking in a walkie. So I'm looking around. I'm just like, you know, this doesn't really seem right. It was Langley Air Force Base. Oh my God, I still don't know if they have a Starbucks or not. That's literally where Apple Maps took me. It literally directed me into the military base. They probably do have a Starbucks in there, I'm not sure. But I never got my fucking pink drink. Anyway, I'm, approaching the roundabout and I'm like, I'm just gonna turn around. Like, I don't even know where I'm at. I don't feel like going around this bougie ass shit, looking for a fucking Starbucks. Mind you, it was after a sesh. I was at my cousin's house. I was literally dressed like I just looked very rough. The hair was in a bun. It was a rough afternoon, okay? Late afternoon. So I turn around in the roundabout because I'm like, oof, I don't know where I'm at. Like, I don't like this. I'm just going to go to another one where, like, I remember my cousin bringing me before. Approaching the exit of where I entered, whatever. There's a line of cars. There's a huge line of cars. And so I'm like, this is so weird. Like, when was there traffic? Like, there was no traffic coming in. What's going on going out? Like, what happened? So this woman, Sergeant Cooper, shout out to you. She was like my emotional support animal, trying her best. I don't know what was going through her head, but if I was her, I would have been like, bitch, that's just that's some rough luck right there. They were all, oh God, I'll get there. He's going to car, I now know, checking for military IDs, which, isn't it funny too, because I was a dependent of someone in the military, I was very much eligible for a military, like, ID. So she gets to my car. Military ID, please. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just following my GPS. I'm trying to find a Starbucks. I got lost, whatever. We got her. Ma'am, I'm gonna have you pull up to the gate. So I'm like, oh my God. What do you mean we got her? What, me? What are we talking about right now? I was like, did I do that? Like, I just had no idea what the fuck was going on. I had no fucking idea. So whatever. I pull up to the gate where I entered. It's so funny now, but like right after it happened, I literally wanted to fucking die. I was so depressed. So I'm up, whatever. Another sergeant, I forget his name. I remember when I, park, and he's like, is the ignition on? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, go ahead, take your keys out. I was like, okay. He was like, hand them to me. He takes them and puts them on my roof. I'm like, on the roof of my car, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. I'm like, what's going on? So then he's asking me questions like, where are you from? I give him my ID, whatever, registration, whatever the fuck. And he's like, you're not even from here? I'm like, no, like, my father, he was like, do you know anyone in the military? Is any family in the military? I'm like, my father, blah, blah, I'm visiting for the summer. He, asks me to get out of the car, puts me against my car. I still have no idea what's going on. And throughout, like, this whole process, my face was just like this. I was trying so hard to comprehend the, like, reality of the situation. I just was not grasping it at all. He puts me in cuffs. I'm against my car. He's reading me my rights and shit. At this time, they're searching my car as I, exit, whatever. It's like, is there anything in here? I'm like, no, sir, Ray. There is nothing in there for you to find. They find in my purse on the passenger seat. Great idea. And they're like, he's reading me my rights. This woman, Sergeant Cooper, is searching me. She tears my fucking bun off my head. She's literally in my coochie, damn near like squeezing my fucking tit. I'm like, you're doing your job. I'm trying to stay calm, whatever. I'm 19 years old. So then 4 military cop cars pull up with fucking guns. 4 of them. Like, they were like preparing for like a terrorist attack. Like, this was no fucking joke. Again, at the time, I was not grasping, like, the gravity of the situation, but, like, this was, like, they were on fucking go. This was, like, a drill for them. Anyway, I'm getting searched. That ends. They're still searching my car. At this time, like, a car to take me back to wherever the fuck comes up, and I get in. I'm literally sitting sideways because I'm a big fucking bitch, and that shit is plastic, and I literally was, like, with my cuffs, I was like, okay. There was 2 people. There was someone in the passenger and someone driving. I'm in the car with them. They pull down they bring out like this instruction sheet. They're figuring out, they're talking to each other on like what to do next. And they're like, and I'm just looking over and I'm like, is this serious? Like, they're pulling down an instruction manual from their visor. That's when I knew that nothing like this has happened there. A couple months after, I found out one of my cousin's friends actually, who was dating or talking to someone in the military that was at that base. And I asked him, I was like, oh my God, did you hear about that girl that ran through the gate to get Starbucks? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, that was me. He was like, no fucking way. That was funny. So they finally figure out what to do. They drive me, into the military base. We go to like this building and they bring me into this room. It's like a fucking closet, like a janitor's closet. That's the only thing I can really compare it to. And Sergeant Cooper stays in there with me because in the military you can't like be alone with like a male if you're a woman. I don't fucking know. In the room, it's just me and her. I guess everyone's getting their shit together. They're all like filing into a doorway, like a room that was straight across, and the glass for our like broom closet was glass so I could see, and every single person walking through was like staring and being like what happened, like who's the perp, like who's the big bitch that fucking came in. Just me, mind you. I was sitting there like, I was asking Sergeant Cooper, I was like, am I gonna go to jail? I'm not sure. I'm like, okay. Oh my God. She was doing her job, period. So they come in and they ask me, like, want to make a statement? I'm like, nah, I'm like, I'm good. I want to stay silent, okay? So then after that, they take my, fingerprints, and all of these people that are like with me during all of this, I guess literally for training, they're asking me where I'm from, I'm like, Pennsylvania. They're like, you're not even from here? And I'm like, yeah, I got lost. I was literally on my way to Starbucks. I was literally trying to get a drink, and they were like, damn, that sucks. I'm like, yeah. At this point, I'm just like, they're taking my I'm like, oh, what the fuck, bro? I'm looking around this fucking like room. I'm like, yo, like genuinely like feeling sorry for me. They're like, damn, like that's crazy. After 3 hours, they release me to myself. They drive me back to my fucking car, and I leave out the gate. Like, all of that for what? This did result in a year probation, but it got expunged. I also did have a trespassing charge, which my lawyer got down because I accidentally drove on. I was a civilian, just I'm just a girl. I'm literally just a girl. This is so funny now. It's like one of the most interesting things that's like ever happened to me. Funny as shit. Because it happened in Virginia and I live in Pennsylvania and was only there for the summer, it then had to get transferred to Pennsylvania. I went to Philly, went to go see my probation officer. He literally, our first meeting, he was looking over the paperwork and he was like, honestly, if this happened here, you would literally probably get like a couple hours community service. You just have to report and check in once a month online. It was a joke of probation. It was stupid that I was even on it. Whatever, that's my opinion. You can have yours. But yeah, that is the story of me getting arrested on a military base. Really fun, really fresh. Still to this day, never ever since 2019, July 29th, I think it was, I have yet to touch Apple Maps again. Like, listen, I was oblivious and like naive, but I can fucking read, okay? When I searched up the Starbucks, all it said, other than like the address and normal things that it would pop up, was unit. And I don't know about you, like where I work, we're unit 11B because we're in a shopping center. So I truly did not think anything of it. I didn't think it was weird. I didn't see anything that was like, oh, this is the biggest, most popular fucking Air Force base, like literally in the country. Yeah.
Bestie, I'm afraid to ask you this.
I ain't gonna lie, me too. When I went on her page and seen her pictures, I said, oh, jump scare.
Okay, I always get questions on if Marley's dad's in the picture, what happened to him, if Marley talks to him. So I'm going to give you a little rundown. So this story can be really long. I'm going to keep it simple and short. There's a lot of things that went into our relationship, but I'll just tell like the important parts. So I met Ethan when I was 14 years old. He was the new kid at school. We became best friends instantly. We were best friends from when I was 14 to 15. We started dating when I was 16. Ethan was a troubled kid. He would find trouble wherever he went, whether it was skipping class, detention, running away from home, whatever he was doing. So we started dating when I turned 16. He got in trouble. He had to go to this place called Home on the Range. At this point, he was 17. I was 16. Home on the Range it's just like how it sounds. It was horses, donkeys. He had to do like work there on the farm while also going to school. And he had to stay there until he turned 18. So when he turned 18, I was still 17. He could leave at midnight. So I drove 12 hours to pick him up and 12 hours home. The February of the next year, I ended up getting pregnant. So now I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior in high school, and I have to quit volleyball because I got pregnant, and it was my senior year. It was a big deal. I was super sad and scared and all the emotions. So that following summer was when the real charges started to hit. And at this point, Ethan is 18, and he went to jail probably at least 7 times this summer. I bailed him out every single time. I spent so much money. I had to get a bail bondsman every single time. And of course, it was the promises. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to go back. I've learned. I love you. Whatever it was, I believed it because I was young. And I bailed him out every single time.
So now it's the end of summer, and I'm like, Ethan, like, our baby is going to be born soon, and you got to figure this out. I would beg him to stay sober, and he just couldn't. So I am staying at this house with him. It's his friend's house, and there are bad things happening, and it's weird to even think of me like this, because I grew up so sheltered, and my mom tried to keep me away from the bad world so many times. And so we're sitting there in the morning, and I'm trying to clean up this apartment. It was trashed. Let's just say the cops raided the apartment. They broke down the door. Everyone was like super messed up. Obviously not me. I'm pregnant and I'm only 17, so my mom has to come and get me. And my mom showed up and she was livid. She's like, "What are you doing? You are pregnant," whatever. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I have to get out of this. And so I told Ethan, I'm like, "You have one more chance." The one more chance has happened a lot. So obviously on the way home, my mom is livid. She's talking to me. She's like, "You need to stop doing this. Like, you need to get out of this. This isn't healthy. You could lose Marley." And so I'm like, "You're right. Like, I'm going to give Ethan the ultimatum. And if he doesn't stop, I'm going to leave." And so I gave him the ultimatum. Of course, Ethan pursues to keep doing what he's doing, because he has an addiction. And it was the day that I had Marley. Ethan had court and he didn't go because he was in the hospital because we were having our baby. And it was like he needed to go to that court date. It was a pretty good charge. But since he didn't go, there was a warrant out for his arrest, and the U.S. Marshals showed up at my house. My baby was 16 days old. And they are on their intercoms. "Ethan Kuchera, you need to come out of the house." My mom goes out and talks to them, and they agreed to do like a silent leave. Like, they came in and got him. Ethan got to say bye, and he left. He was gone for 6 months. I got my own apartment. And when he got out, I ended up taking him back. Again, I'm young. I have at this point, 6-month-old baby, and I'm scared to do it alone. And so I let him come and live with me. Ethan had like really bad anger issues. When he got mad, he would break things. He never hit me or anything. He would never do that. But he would get mad. Like, he broke my TV. He broke my door off my wall. He punched holes in everything. He broke my balcony into pieces, glasses, whatever. So after like 2 months, that happened again because he was on drugs. He was a totally different person sober. Like, Ethan sober is a great person, but at this point he is still on drugs. And so all of this happened. I woke up the next morning and I'm cleaning it all up, and there is banging at my door. My apartment's getting raided. And I am like, what is going on? I'm throwing in laundry. I have a 6-month-old baby, and I didn't even know what Ethan was doing at this point. So again, the cops are banging on my door, about to break it down, and I open it, and I have like 8 guns on me. And they're telling me to get on the ground. I'm like, "I'm not going to do that. I have a little baby in here." I was like, "You can handcuff me, but I'm not getting on the ground." They come in. Our apartment is destroyed. Like, Ethan broke everything in it the night before. And they go and they handcuffed him. Obviously, they find nothing in my apartment. I would never let anything be inside my apartment. Especially with a baby, that I'm smarter than that. I would never, ever do that. And they obviously let Ethan go, and they bring me to the bathroom, and they're like, "You have to get out of this. Like, you are going to end up losing your daughter if you do not get out of this relationship." So I put all of Ethan's stuff in garbage bags. I threw it outside, and I was like, "You have to go. Like, I'm done." And after that is when Ethan started going to prison. He's been to prison. This is his 3rd time now. He gets out in like 2 months. But I did not end up taking him back. After that, I could not imagine losing my daughter, who is now 7 years old, and she is the smartest girl ever. But still to this day, Ethan has a very bad drug addiction. Prison is not the place for him. It's not helping him. It is not what he needs. He needs to go to a treatment place. He was dealt a pretty rough hand in life, but he is old enough to make the decision to do the right thing now and stop putting the blame on everybody else. And I hope when he gets out, he can be there for Marley and be a present dad. I'm so thankful that I met Devin. He is like the best father figure for Marley and is showing her what a guy should treat her like when she's older. And it's super nice because Devin and Ethan do get along. We will be supporting Ethan from afar when he gets out. And that's about it. That's why me and Ethan ended things, was the raids, the drugs, all of that. And I just hope he gets out and does a good thing. Ethan is not a bad person. Like, he's a really, really good person when he's sober. If you guys have people in your life that do drugs, you will understand this. When he is on drugs, he is a totally different person. Like, totally different. It's a 180 switch. But I really hope this time he gets out, he does the right thing, and I will keep you guys updated.